The punishment in Missouri was more than 10 times lighter for the same crime, injecting a fatal dose of industrial-grade silicone into a woman's butt.
Ms. Lee left Texas to come all the way up here to Missouri to shoot whatever she shot up in my sister's body, and she killed her. So to me, that's murder.
It's not murder in Missouri. Vernetta Rochelle Sanders' 22-year-old sister, Daisha, died in 2015 from silicone injections she hoped would improve her body.
I've heard so many things that people have been shooting in their buttocks. I've been hearing fix a flat, some type of silicone.
Our suspect was kind of a ghost.
That suspect, now convicted, is Nautica Lee. Lee convicted of fatally injecting Daisha with silicone. It would take Edmonton Police Captain Jeff Heisey 5 years to find Lee. Here's the suspect on airport surveillance video leaving town. Heisey learned she'd fled to Texas, where she was a fugitive for 5 years. Captain Heisey in the St. Louis County Prosecutor's Office shared with us exclusively shocking interviews with other women who went to the same airport hotel for enhancements with Lee.
She injects you in the spot where she thinks you need it multiple times until it plumps up. Then she stops and she massages it into your skin, and then she goes to the next spot and does the same thing.
Captain Heisey said the FDA sent investigators and tested the substance that killed Daisha.
It was basically construction-grade silicone, like you would see in any caulk gun or, tub and tile silicone that you could get from a hardware store.
She said this is okay for you to have inside you?
Yeah, she never said there was nothing wrong with it.
Okay. All right. And were you aware that she's not a licensed medical practitioner?
Yeah.
A third woman Heisey interviewed later died from a reported butt injection.
Several years after this occurred, she was continuing to get injections, and then she ultimately is deceased now from that.
There were other deadly cases of failed injections. A Texas case brought a murder charge and 60 years in prison for Denise Rochelle Ross. Nautica Lee could only be charged with manslaughter, which brings a maximum 7 years.
In this case, it was something that we had to go back and hit the books on to make certain where we were, because this kind of case doesn't come along very often.
Here's the main difference between Missouri and Texas: practicing medicine without a license. It's a felony in Texas. That gives Texas prosecutors the discretion to charge murder after a fatality. In Missouri, practicing medicine without a license is a misdemeanor.
That's something that I hope the legislators would look at with these type of procedures and a black market growing. I don't think this will be the last.
Missouri suspect Lee finally arrested on a warrant during a traffic stop. She was brought back to Missouri and sentenced to 5 years in prison.
I was like, oh my God, are you serious? She took a life. So whether you did it by a gun or a knife, you did it by illegally injecting her.
We've reached out to Missouri legislators to keep this discussion going. We also checked in Illinois, where we found practicing medicine without a license is also a misdemeanor after the first offense. Then it can be charged as a felony the second time. For the Fox Files, I'm Chris Hayes.